What's up, guys? My name is Michael and welcome to Simple Chinese. And this is pinyin part 2, the introduction of Chinese, basically. So from last lesson, what we learned is all the simple finals and all the initials. Okay, so if you haven't watched the last video, make sure to go back. But basically, in Chinese, all the characters are pronounced by pinyin, basic system of how to pronounce a word. And in Chinese, pronounced in pinyin, there's only there's our initials and there are finals. And all we do is just put initials combined with finals, and then we make a sound. And then that sound will be a sound of a character basically. So this is like only half of those, but there's about like another half. I would say will be, or maybe a little more than that. But this is basically a chart of all the simple finals and all the initials, all the combination that they can have. Okay, it looks like maybe quite a bit, but all of them are easy to learn, easy to pronounce, and it's a chart. Imagine this: if you only have to learn like 2 to 3 charts, maybe 2 charts, maybe that's all you have to learn to be able to pronounce the entire language. How awesome will that be, right? That's in the case of Chinese. If you can master this chart, and in the future in the chart of the compound finals or whatever the multiple finals they call, you'll be able to literally pronounce every single character in Chinese, which isn't hard to learn. So I guess to give you an idea, like in China, obviously we speak Chinese, ever since we're little kids, right? But we learn pinyin in the first grade, and that's all that we spend. That's all the time we spend learning, pinyin. But I mean, obviously we're kids, so we're learning slow, and usually that doesn't take that long. But a lot of the courses in USA here, I mean, I'm not gonna say which one. I mean, I don't really know. But a lot of friends, of mine, they learn all these pinyin with just within a couple weeks or within 1 or 2 months, which it's not. I don't really think it's a good idea. Like, even though it's just a chart, it's pretty simple, but it takes time. Like, if you really want to internalize it, if you really want to actually know everything, like be so good at it and master everything in here, it takes a few months. It's not just like a 30 days, and it's not like 4 weeks straight you'll be able to really get to know all of them. Like, it's a learning process. It takes time. So make sure you spend enough time, just practicing that to a point where we're very, very comfortable. And in the future also, like, when we start to get to lessons, you still come back here, maybe review on your own to actually master this pinyin, because pinyin is everything. Like, if you're able to do pinyin correctly, which means you're able to pronounce the word correctly, which means you're able to pronounce Chinese correctly, right? The better you do, that means the less accent you will have, the cooler it will sound, the closer it will sound to Chinese person, which makes you really cool. Like, if you can speak a language and that's very close to the accent, of the whatever the native people, then it will be awesome. And then that's why I would say a lot of people, I don't know, I think just a lot of friends of mine, they English speakers. So with this, it's relatively easy. So they kind of go through it very quickly. They didn't spend enough time to actually focus. But all I'm trying to say is, spend more time on this, and really, 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 master all these content. Okay. So anyway, let's just kind of go ahead and go through all of these. So all the simple finals, I'm gonna just go a quick review here how to say those. It will be I, that's all the simple finals, and all the initials will be bo, right? I mean, it's kind of like English. So bo, mo, de, te, ne, le, ge, ke, he, ji, qi, xi, zi, ci, si, zhi, chi, shi, and the last one, ri. Okay, so that's all the initials in the finals. And then we're gonna get into all these combinations. Like, that's all the combinations it has. Okay, ideally it would be like, oh, okay, maybe one initial can match one final. Maybe there's like 6 of those, and there's like more than 20. You do 20 times 6. Well, how many 20 times 6? But in a lot of cases, it's not all. We don't use all 6 of them for each initial. There's only like a few, only 4 maybe, sometimes 5. maybe just 4. But yeah, let's just get into it right now. So you see all here, it's a bo, po, is a b, p, bo, po, mo, fo, right? So basically it's the combination of the first 4 initials with all the simple finals that can be. So this one will be ba, this one will be b, bu, bo. So it's pretty easy, right? Like it's actually pretty easy. Like that's not the hard part. Like be able to say that, right? So ba, bi, bu, bo. Now let's move to the next one here. Instead of say b, we say p. So pa, pi, pu, right? Po, very easy, right? Ma, mi, mu, mo, fa, right? Fu, fo. Like it's actually pretty easy. Like it's not really that hard. Like these are very simple. Like just one initial with one single final should be very easy to understand. You should have no problem pronouncing those. Okay, and then obviously the next 4 will be the next 4 initials of the combination of all the simple finals here. So we got da, right? Da, di, du, de. So right. So da, di, du, de. And the next one will be ta, ti, tu, right? Te. And then will be na, ni, nu, ne. And then this one, remember this one, it's a u. So ne plus u, nu, okay? Nu, okay? La, li, lu, le, lu. So I mean, it's honestly pretty easy, right? Or if you just like le, a together, la, le, I, li, le, u, lu, le, things like that, right? So just gonna go through all of those. Gu, ge, gu, ge, ga, gu, ge, ga. So you can tell all of these. So for example, we pick this one here, right? And then that's a character, right? And then maybe that's another character right there. 2 characters, only 2 sounds. Obviously, I don't think it really makes sense in actual Chinese language, like actual character. I don't think those 2 ever go together. But if they do, te ke, that's all you say. Te ke, te ke, te ke, te ke. Very short. Te ke, right? So I guess that's one of the really good things about Chinese compared to English, is that if you pronounce the word, it's usually pretty short. Like one character, just like one sound, just boom, right? Te, ke, ka, whatever, things like that. We have the English, like English, English, it's kind of long, right? Anyway, so let me get rid of this here. So ku, ke, ka, hu, he, ha, right? And then these ones are pretty tricky here. So ji, qi, xi. Okay, it sounds just like themselves, right? Ji, qi, xi. Because with the I behind it, usually, I think in pretty much every single case, I'm not 100% sure, but it should be with the I behind whatever initial, it's just their own sound. So ji, ji, qi, xi, right? Ji, qi, xi. Actually, not true. Don't I take that back. Yeah, obviously didn't say 100%. So with other p, then it's not the case. P, but with these, okay, it will be in the same sound. So ji, qi, xi makes sense because the character by itself is ji, qi, xi, right? So with the I behind it, that's why it's ji, qi, xi. Okay, so that makes sense. So ji, qi, xi. And then with these 3, okay, these 3 will be different. Even though they're with a u after them, but they're actually representing yu. Like you don't really see yu whenever you're typing or writing. It's yu is basically just a kind of a representation of like another sound for u. Okay, that's all. It's in there, like it's still part of them, but we don't really write, or maybe we rarely write yu out, maybe just a couple times. But in this case, okay, these parts you have to remember. You just have to suck up and then just understand which It's not that hard, right? So you don't say. Ideally, you will say "u" will be "ju," but no, you will say "ju." Okay, "ju," "chu," "shu." Okay, it's a little bit different, but it's still easy to understand. These three, all these "u's" actually sound of "yu," so you say "ju," "chu," "shu." Okay, so basically there should be those two dots there, but we don't put it, but basically they just have those, and then that's all. Okay, so remember those three are important. Okay, just don't forget about those. And then here, za, zu, z, z. So it's pretty much the same, right? Compared to it's in the beginning here. Then ca, cu, ce, ci, sa, su, se, si, sa, su, se, si. Right? And then with this, it's the same thing. Just remember, roll your tongue with that H, like all these four characters. Okay, make sure. Pinyin. Make sure you roll your tongue. Say that correctly. So, 扎猪扎猪这只叉出车吃杀书奢是ru re日. Okay, so that's it. This chart represents almost, I don't know exactly how much, but it represents a huge portion. I would say, if not like half, 50% of the sounds. You will, if you write it on pinyin, you will see all those. Okay, 50%. Okay, and then in the future videos, just wanna give you a heads up. So we already learned the simple final. We're gonna learn next will be the compound final. Okay, so rather than just one, we have like two or three different ones together to make a sound. Okay, but still, just one initial plus one final together will make a sound, and still pronounce very short, like or whatever, just short, not like English long. So I guess that's a really good thing I want to emphasize. Is like, in that case, I think the Chinese is pretty easy. Okay, I think the hardest thing is those pinyin. The pinyin, to actually write and memorize those, like that's not a problem. Hardest thing is people like accent. Okay, so like whenever you learn different language, like everybody knows accent involves, right? Like if you're born in China like me, come to America, you got a Chinese accent. If born in America, you go to China, you learn Chinese, there's American accent, right? So in Chinese, to really in my mind, I think the best way to avoid accent, or to just get to closest to Chinese accent, is the tonality, and that's what people always messed up. Okay, like I don't know, you should be able to tell, like if I talk, maybe you can pick up a lot of those little things about how me having a Chinese accent, maybe my grammar is a problem for me. Maybe sometimes I'm gonna skip a word, maybe doesn't really pronounce a word loud enough, just kind of like skip things around. So you should be able to pick up my Chinese accent when I speak English. So people like me, who's a native speaker, Chinese, can do the same with American accent. Like when I hear my friends talk, I can just tell like, oh, why is he not saying that correctly? Or hear a lot of different English speakers when they try to speak Chinese. Like what's the case? Like when I first pick up, it's the tonality, and which we're gonna get into in the future. It's people think it's the least significant, but it's actually the most significant, because there's only four tonalities, only four sounds. Like you can almost ignore them completely, but they're the most important thing to determine if you can speak good Chinese or not. But we're gonna get into it in the future. But that's pretty much all. If you have questions, leave a comment below, or subscribe to my channel. You can always email me. Everything you have to know is down in the box. And also got this book here. If you're a self-learner, if you haven't gotten a book, I recommend this book. It's called Integrated Chinese. I get all my information from here. Obviously I have the knowledge, But like all my lessons in the future, whatever, is following this course. So you can pick up this book and you can follow with me, or you can learn by yourself, or you don't have to, like, because I'll cover everything. You just have to spend more time, really practice yourself, and that requires maybe a book or whatever to really helps you. And the reason I picked this book is because my friends, he's in college, and our university is using this book as a textbook, and I guess it's very standard for across a lot of different schools, universities, and this is a great book too, really for a starter, and like it gives a lot of really good insight, so like you will learn a lot from this book. So I recommend this book, and I'm using this one. And if you do want to get this one, make sure to pick up other books, other parts, like the workbook or the character book, really help you get more out of learning Chinese. But that's pretty much in this lesson. See you in the next one. Bye bye.